Hello YouTube, I'm Jack Clark, the Musketeer, coming to you with another video. How are you? So, I'm sorry about the camera. One day I'll have a nice camera, one day I'll have a nice haircut, and one day I'll be going out with Scarlett Johansson. But until then, I'm going to be making crappy videos in my bedroom about Yu-Gi-Oh! So, today I'm going to be going through the TCG ban list, which you've now got the information from courtesy of the organisation. Now, of course, since I didn't put this video up immediately once knowing the information, we have now got it on the official website as well. You can go check out the official Yu-Gi-Oh! Website for the ban list in its official capacity, but in the description I'll put a link to the organisation's version of the list. It's exactly the same, it just means you can go check out and support them instead. So go check them out in the description down below, so you can go check out the full list and go check out their content. They're very, very good. And of course, in the description, or as a video response, I'd like to hear your opinions on this ban list, and I'm going to be giving you mine right now. So, this is the Forbidden and Limited list that will be going on July 14th for the TCG. So, there are no changes to the Forbidden cards, but Limited, Semi-Limited, and Unlimited. We have GOYO Guardian and Giga Gear in Limited. Semi-Limited, we have Magician of Faith, Formula Synchron, and Reinforcement of the Army. And no longer Semi-Limited, we have Dimensional Prison and Mirror Force. So let's go down the line and give you my general thoughts and opinions. So Limited, we have GOYO Guardian, which people are kind of losing their shit off because, well, it's GOYO Guardian, I guess. However, of course, people are realizing that, like, at this point, GOYO Guardian shouldn't have been banned, I don't think, because GOYO Guardian was one of those victims of Konami when they were trying to push Xyzs so they get rid of all the synchros, which were actually played. However, of course, there weren't really any decent level 6 synchros to replace it, so any synchro decks that needed to go into level 6, like, I don't know, like zombies or psychics or whatever, they did have some options, but they didn't have a really good solid option. Now they got GOYO Guardian, and people are picking up their GOYO Guardians. I think I have one somewhere, but I don't think this is going to make too much of an impact on the meta at all, really. The only thing that people are properly complaining about, which I've noticed, is the fact that, oh, it's 2800 attack points, it makes Gaia Knight redundant, and it's a bit too high. And yeah, it is a bit too high, and I think it probably should be a level 8, but actually, if it were level 8, that'd be even worse, because more decks could chuck it out. So actually, I'm not too fussed with it being level 6 and between 2800 attack points. I mean, Fabled Unicorn is 23 and level 4 synchro, so what's the problem? I don't honestly think its attack points being so high is enough of a problem. I mean, Noble Knight Brothers has 2400 defense. Does anybody care? No. It's not exactly game breaking. And neither will this. I mean, we still have 3 Big Eye, and I wouldn't be surprised if GOYO Guardian comes off the ban list even more so later on. So I'm not too fussed with GOYO Guardian. I don't think it's going to make any kind of an impact. I mean, I think Cosmic Dragons can use it, and of course the Cosmic Dragons have effects that apply to Synchro Monsters when they're used for Synchro materials to make the Synchro Monster powerful, so yeah, that's great. But it means that GOYO Guardian could be relevant in one deck, but I don't think it's going to make enough of an impact in anything else to kind of warrant any kind of worry. So don't worry, calm down and stop spending like 20 quid on GOYO Guardian. Shit, man. Profit! So, next off, we have Giga Gear. One thing I noticed about this ban list is that they haven't actually done anything to address any problems that we may have had. So, artifacts and trap trick hands, kind of that kind of decks. They haven't been hit in any way, shape, or form with this ban list, which I guess is not really the point. A friend of mine said that this is not a ban list to help shape the meta. It's a ban list to help promote product, which I thought was a very, very concise point and very relevant, because you look at this list a little bit more, and then you'll see that, like, Reinforcement of the Army at 2, and you see that and you're like, what deck could potentially benefit from having Reinforcement at 2, which is coming out soon. Of course, in addition to the Hero Strike stuff that will eventually come to the TCG at some point, we also have the Satellanites, which are, of course, a warrior archetype, which needs some kind of search power. I mean, in the OCG, Satellanites are very good, but that's also because they have, like, compulsory evacuation device at 3, and they also have access to unlimited shock masters, so what are you going to do, really? I mean, they're quite good in there, but really, to promote it more, they put Reinforcement at 2, which is actually fair enough, because I think Reinforcement can come back to 2, and it not really matter, because it means that decks that use warriors can be more consistent, and that's literally it. I mean, we have Tenki, and actually, 5-5 are kind of been and gone. I mean, like, just because you summon a bear, and we have a butt ton of counters for bear now, that it doesn't really matter that if you're actually able to plus off it, yeah, that's great, but most decks can be able to plus, have like a really silly plus play at their disposal anyway, and if they don't, well, they're not really exactly something that Konami's trying to promote, which is not a good thing, but it's not necessarily a bad thing either. So bear's not really an issue, so, well, being able to search so much, well, maybe it means that more warrior decks will be able to actually be a bit more consistent, which is great. And as another note, actually, since I mentioned heroes ever so briefly, people who are still butthurt about Stratos' ban, I did videos on Stratos' ban, how I thought that it's been and gone, it's had its time, and we should just leave it now. It's on the ban list indefinitely, and I don't think it's going to come off, and I don't think it should come off now, because actually when you realise how much searching capabilities and how much search power that freaking heroes have, I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Really? Are you actually complaining with your 2 rotors, which you're now going to have, your free emergency calls, you're going to have your free shadow miss, you can have your free heroes live, you've got so much searching capability that if any archetype had at least one of your searching cards, then they would be fine. You have more searching power than like multiple archetypes combined, so you need to shut the fuck up, because just because you don't have your Stratos doesn't mean you're entitled to your Stratos. It's the hero you want, but not the hero you deserve, and it's just kind of, people need to shut the fuck up about it. I'm all for reinforcement coming to 2, but actually, if it means that there are going to be more hero players complaining, I just can't even. I mean, just go away, no one cares anymore. Anyway, Giga Gear to 1, which is okay, I guess. I mean, it helps curb the Giga Gear hit without actually hurting the main core of the deck, which I'm actually all for, because Giga Gear was a kind of a silly card that allows you to just pop out a Xyz just randomly, and with it just being at 1, I don't think it's going to mean that, of course, the decks actually change quite a lot. Of course, Giga Gear decks, they used the level 3 Giga Gears simply so they could facilitate Giga Gear, but they weren't optimal. So without having multiple copies of Giga Gear, they're not really going to be able to justify having multiple copies of their level 3s, apart from MK2, which is actually an okay monster. However, with only 1 Giga Gear, I guess maybe use what? You use like, what? 3 Mac, you use a playset of the Mac 2 and maybe a copy of Giga Gear, but it means just they had 1 card that is now not as broken as it was before. I'm not really actually saying it was broken, I just think it was a good hit on Giga Gear, just full stop really. It was quite a passive deck, and I quite liked it, so this kind of hit is good for Giga Gear, and I don't think it's a bad thing. Next off, we have Magician of Faith at 2, which I think is absolutely fine. This is one of those hits which you see and it's like, okay, so they did it with Suikomi, where they took it off the ban list, it did nothing. They put it to 2, it did nothing. They put it to 3, still nothing. Which is fine. I think they should be doing this to more cards on the ban list with every ban list. Like, they choose a card and think, okay, we're going to try this at 1 to see how and test the waters, and then just keep on taking cards off the ban list. Because of course with the power creep, as much as the power creep is a very bad thing, I don't like power creep at all, because it makes a hell of a lot of cards completely redundant, which is actually maybe just kind of, we have to keep up the times, and they want to promote product, but they want to promote a certain kind of product, and we need to be buying that, and if we're not buying that, why would they care for us? Which is actually reasonable from a business point of view. So actually, with stuff coming off the ban list though, it means it's less saturated, which it is. There are a hell of a lot of cards on the ban list which they could reprint, make some money from, and actually, I'm not going to do anything. They're going to do no one any harm, and it just makes the ban list bigger. And actually, it means more cards that people can use, which is all good. So Magician of Faith, I fully expect that to go to free. Because actually I don't think there are any loops or anything, any decent targets for it that are actually worth recycling. And even then, I mean, the only cards that you really want from the graveyard would be a Dark Hole, maybe a Soul Charge. But Soul Charge isn't even on this list, so you still have access to free copies of it. So Magician of Faith at 2, I can't think of any decent spell cards to abuse with it. So yeah, it can go free for all I care, and I expect it to do so in the next ban list. What else we got here? Formula Synchron to 2, so Synchro decks. I'm going to have a little bit more stuff to work with, which is okay. I mean, to be fair, I just want more variety in a meta. Because that's the thing that most people like about metas, is that initially when a ban list comes out, they become more diverse. But of course, as time goes by, that diversity kind of subsides. But we want that diversity at all, because even if it doesn't make a lasting effect competitively, it means that if you want to be pseudo-competitive and you just want to use a Synchro deck that uses Formula Synchron, your deck will be better. It may not be able to compete on the highest tier, but it means you can be able to be a little bit better than you were before. So Formula Synchron, I don't expect it to have nearly as much impact at all, really. I mean, compared to its heyday anyway. But I mean, I think Cosmic Dragons can use this, and I mean, it means quick draw decks can use it as well, and that's well and good, and I'm fine with that. No longer limited, no longer semi-limited even, are Dimensional Prison and Mirror Force. I don't think people would use more than 2 anyway, depending on their back row options. I think I probably would, just simply because Watts and Dimensional Prison's really nice. so far, and of course giving us more back row options is good because we don't have any back row options in the GGG, unlike the OCG where they have their evacs and their trainable back row, and the bastards have too much more stuff than us. So Dimensional Prison and Mirror Force going to free. I mean, no one was using Mirror Force at the moment anyway, so it going to freeze kind of doesn't make a difference either. So those are all fine. I don't think they're really going to make any hits. That's the thing with this ban list. I don't think it really is going to do anything at all in terms of change. I mean, it's just literally there to promote decks that are coming up: Formula Synchron, Cosmic Dragons, Reinforcement of the Army, Heroes, and Satella Knights. And I mean, Christ, God knows that Shadows don't need any more bloody help than they already have. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So in the comments down below, or as a video response, tell me what you think about this ban list. Of course, the ban list will be on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Organizations page, which there will be a link in the description down below. Go check that out. I don't care anymore. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm Jack Clark, the Musketeer. More videos coming out too soon, but until then, goodbye.